Ever since the day that you went away, you've been sending flowers to me, flowers today, flowers today.
Hey guys, so it's Nicole here. I'm gonna be doing some makeup for you guys. I'm starting a new channel, so everybody bear with me if I'm a little bad. But I'm gonna be doing makeup today. I'm gonna be using this lovely Jawbreaker palette. I think it's the most beautiful palette ever. I love it. I use it on a daily basis. But we'll be using some of these lovely like bright shades, doing kind of a sunset look for you guys. Kind of just show you how I use it. A lot of people are kind of scared to use a palette like this one, but Jeffree started great with this one. And you know, I have a lot of his palettes. I have the Blood Sugar. I have both the Androgyny palette and the Beauty Killer palette, and I use them a lot. But let's go ahead and get on with the video. So I'm going to start out by putting a primer on. My favorite primer to go to is definitely this e.l.f. primer. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's the e.l.f. Putty Primer. It works amazing on my skin. It's got a kind of a different texture. It's not sticky, but it's definitely something that's a little bit different. Some people don't really like it. It kind of feels like the Benefit Poreless Foundation, LOL, foundation primer. It feels really hydrating too. As you can kind of see, like my pores are kind of gone already. I know I don't have the best of skin, but that's what makeup's for. You can kind of hide it a little bit. Kind of makes you feel a little bit better. But I like to go in just with a little bit. And yes, I do have a nose ring, so I kind of have to go around the nose ring to make sure that primer gets in. But I usually take just about that much and just kind of rub it in. And you really want to kind of press it into the skin. So I like to kind of rub my fingers together and just warm that product up, get it ready for any type of foundation, concealer, whatever you like to put on. So I put on the whole shebang. I put everything on because I like the full coverage, full snatched kind of look. But that's the primer I use. So the next thing that I like to do is not foundation. I actually like to do my eyebrows next. And I kind of switch back and forth from the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil, which is the pencil that has like the little kind of tiny end here. Or I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. I love this stuff. I think it's amazing. I use the soft brown stuff, and that's actually what I'm going to be using today, just so I can have a little bit more fuller brow, a more fuller brow and just more together look. I'm going to be taking my Jeffree Star Morphe brush. How I do my brows, I like to kind of go through the brows to make sure that they're nice and in line. I do have full brows, but I like to make sure that they're completely snatched. I like to make sure they're completely in shape. They look good. There's no missing holes. See, I do have some hole missage right here. Doesn't look that great. But when I start my brows, I like to go on the bottom and kind of go up. And if you're wondering what I'm looking at, there is a mirror that's just right in front of you guys. That's just so I can look to see what I'm doing. But I like to just kind of like make sure there's a strong line underneath my brows, just so I can kind of get the shape down. The good thing about brows when you do them first is that if you do mess up, you can kind of just take some concealer and, you know, really sharpen those things up. But the next step I like to do is go up on the top of my brow and really just kind of sharpen that out. See how it's kind of looked a little bit better already, and just make sure everything looks good. And then if you do mess up, you can also just like wipe it away, which is kind of nice. But now I'm going back onto the lower half of my brow. What I like to do now is take that brush and just kind of flick it upwards. And this just gives the effect of hairs. Okay, so you see how I messed up a little bit? We just go like that. Boom. Yes, everybody messes up. Brows are not the easiest of things to do, but if you take your time on them, give them some love, they can really turn out to be really good looking brows. And now I'm just kind of going through the motions again, kind of getting that strong line on the bottom. Go back in for some more pomade. Now I'm going to go to the top. And there we go. Kind of looks good. I like to make sure there's no extras on the outside there. Now we're going to go back on the bottom with just whatever's left on the brush. Kind of make that strong line there. And now the upward flicking motion that we all know and love to make my brows look a little bit fuller. And the only reason I say this is my brows are full, but when you look so dark on this bottom half of your brow, like on the outer corner or outer tail of your brow, you don't want to make it look like you have no brows up at the front. And that's just because that doesn't look that good. But now we're just going to take the spoolie and kind of spoolie through, especially this front half, to kind of make them look faded, the ombre kind of effect here. So we're just really going to go in there and then kind of push them out. And that's how I usually do my brows, just with the pomade. But see, whenever you do your pomade and you do your upwards flicking, you can get some at the top. So now that's when you go in with your nice little brush here. Let me find mine. It's my little concealer brush. It's a Morphe brush. I live by these brushes. I think they're amazing. I actually did just order all the Morphe collection with Jeffree Star. So I'm going to be doing a review on that, which will be super exciting. But today, instead of going with my usual Tarte Shape Tape, I'm actually going to go in with this NARS concealer. It's the soft matte concealer. It's going to be in Light 1 Chantilly. I'm pretty excited. I've only used it like once, but it should be a pretty good match for my skin tone right now. I know it's the lightest shade they have, but the way that I always do my makeup, I like to go a little bit lighter with concealers, a little bit darker with foundations, just to like give myself a good contrast. So when I'm doing the rest of my brows, I like to make sure that they're nice, sharp, and defined, so I get a little bit of concealer, and I kind of just go ahead and kind of crispen those lines. You always want to make sure that they look good and that they are nice, crisp, defined, and always look, I mean, you can say it, I know everybody's wanting me to say it, but on fleek. Now I'm just gonna take a little bit of that concealer again and go on top. There we go. And then again, you go all the way to the front of that brow. And what I like to do, because yes, this is clearly brighter than my skin tone, is I kind of just blend it out with my finger. You can also take a small beauty blender. I do have my little Jeffree Star Morphe blender, and you can take that and kind of blend it out. And yes, this is a wet and beauty blender. I never use dry ones just because I'm too scared that it's going to pull on that foundation and make it look bad. But continue taking the same brush. It is the Morphe M421. I know some of y'all might not be able to see that, so I'll definitely put everything in the description that I use, just so everybody knows. But I'm going to go back into that concealer, the same brush, and go ahead and do the other side. Boom, there we go. And there we go. And here we are. So I'm just blending. I'm trying to work pretty quickly for you guys. And of course, you know, I'm going to edit some stuff out. And there we are. That's pretty much my brows. That's what I usually do. I'm going to start out by using my lovely Too Faced foundation, and this is in the shade Pearl. It's actually one of their newer shades, so I'm pretty excited to use this. And I'm going to kind of go for like a, I guess, luminous kind of look. So I'm actually going to take the Anastasia Peach Fizz liquid highlight. I love this highlight. The Liquid Glow. I think it's amazing. I like to just take a little bit of it. So I take the little cap off. I just like to do a little bit of it. So I'm just going to do like a little dot there, a little dot here, a little one on my forehead, and then a little one on my chin. I don't really like to put it on my nose because I don't like my nose to be super highlighted, because we're going to put highlighter on your nose later in the video. I'll show you. But I like to just do like a line, a little bit on my nose, and then just a little bit on my forehead. We will definitely go in to the neck region. Don't worry about that. It kind of helps with just the blending. So I'm going to take my Morphe Jeffree Star Beauty Blender, and I'm going to go ahead and buff this out.
Ever since the day that you went away, you've been sending flowers to me, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. Flowers to me, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me
gonna go into my Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in the shade Fair. And it is pretty light, but I'm a light girl. But I'm just gonna kind of just deet. You don't need a lot of this stuff. I do use a lot of it sometimes just to make sure that any bags or discoloration is completely gone. But I'm gonna use the same little blender. I'm actually gonna go in to use my small one for under my eyes to make sure I really get into those crevices and my nose especially, just because it is a little difficult.
Ever since the day that you went away, you've been sending flowers to me, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. Flowers to me, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms. Sending flowers to me, send me no flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. You've been sending flowers to me, send me no flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me.
Okay, so that's all the concealing foundation that I usually do. So now I'm just gonna go into my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, LOL. Face powder, and this is in translucent. It's an amazing powder. I take the little edge side of my beauty blender and kind of just tap that in there, and then I really just press it into the skin. I don't press like hard. I just kind of get it and just kind of dab it on there. And it makes you look very bright, very wide-eyed and beautiful. And it sets that concealer so well. One that I definitely am going to end up trying soon is the Laura Mercier setting powder. I think it's amazing. I've always wanted to try it. Everybody thinks it's amazing, you know. It works really well. It sets everything. You can set it and forget it, which is my main motto, is setting it and forgetting it. But I'm trying to set all this concealer, really kind of let it bake, especially under my eyes and around my nose region, because I don't want anything to crease. You definitely don't want any creasing. Creasing is not very good. But we're gonna go into the Jeffree Star JS2 brush, which is this beautiful little powder brush. I'm gonna tap into that powder and kind of just set the rest of my face and neck. So you always want to make sure everything's set, just so it doesn't crease, it doesn't look super cakey, because sometimes if you don't set, it can really just look not the best. Let me just say that. But I'm gonna put away my foundation real fast, and then I'm actually going to just to kind of open up my pores a little bit. I'm kind of just gonna set this with some spray. I am just gonna use the Pixi Skin Treats Glow Mist. It's a nourishing mist. It's not really a setting mist, but it kind of helps with that powder. It just feels great. It smells really good, but it'll help your skin. But back to everything. Now I'm just going to take the same Tarte Shape Tape concealer. I'm gonna put some on my eyes so I can prime them. I do have an eye primer. I use the MAC one, but right now I've been kind of stuck on the Tarte Shape Tape. It's been an oldie but a goodie, and I kind of just blend that out with that little beauty blender, just to make sure that it's nice and even. As you can see, it kind of just gives you a blank canvas. It's kind of amazing. Again, I'm gonna say it like 16,000 times, but I love this concealer. It is a tried and true for anybody. Any kind of skin you have, it'll work really well. I like to go into Virgin, which is that top white shade right here. It's a gorgeous shade. I like to tap into that and get a nice little coating on the brush and then set that eye with it. So when you set that eye, it should look nice and blank, There should be no creasing. I mean, if there is creasing, go back in with that beauty blender, kind of blend out that crease, maybe put a little more concealer down and set it pretty fast. So a lot of people with oily lids, I don't really have oily lids. I think they're pretty normal, but a lot of people with like really oily lids understand that creasing is so real. It's very real. It kind of sucks, but you kind of get used to it. But today, like I said, we're going to do kind of like a sunset look. So first I'm going to go into Cone, which is this beautiful little transition shade that I like to use a lot. I'm going to go into Cone with it. It's a really good crease blending brush. I'm just going to tap into that, tap off some of that excess, and really just kind of stamp it in that crease and just kind of blend it to make it look a little bit more darker. But I'm going to go into the Morphe 506, which is this lovely little tapered, tiny little brush. I'm going to go into that, and I'm actually going to go into, let's start out with Suck, which is this beautiful orange shade right here in the middle between this beautiful yellow wow and then that red licorice. But we're going to go into Suck real fast. Some of these names are a little inappropriate, so I apologize. I'm not one to just start throwing out curse words. But we're going to tap in kind of a lot. Get a lot of pigment onto that brush like that. Tap just a little bit, get any excess off. And I'm going to take this brush and just kind of stamp it into that outer V, not inner corner, but outer V to the crease. And it's going to be quite pigmented. So like Mama Star always says, pigment is there. It's there. It looks really good. It blends out to something just so beautiful, so cohesive. And if you know how to work your colors, you can really just take that look to the next level. So right now, I'm probably gonna do a half cut crease. So I am kind of going into that inner corner just a teensy little bit, but I'm really trying to blend out these colors to look really cohesive, look really nice. So the reason that we laid down that first color is to make sure that we kind of knew where we were gonna go with it. So I don't wanna go all the way up here with this orange because then we wouldn't have any space to blend out. But I think that looks pretty good right now. It's nice and bright. I think I'm going to take just a little bit more of it and I'm going to put it all right here just to really kind of darken up my lid some more. So that just looks gorgeous. And I have green eyes, so any type of, you know, rainbow, sunset, summery look will look pretty decent with any colored eyes. Even with brown eyes, if you can really get those colors to pop, your eyes will look so good and they'll just blend seamlessly together. So same thing, I'm kind of taking that, blending it, try to make sure that these look even and always possible, because equality is the key. So I think these look pretty good. I think this side needs a little more pigment. So my eyes are kind of weird. Sometimes this eye doesn't hold pigment as well as this one does. But that's okay. We're not judging it. We're just gonna let it live its life here. But I'm just gonna kind of make sure that they're even at least. If they don't hold pigment as well as you want them to, just make sure that they're even. Because you can always build up color, but it's really hard to take away color. So now I'm going to go into my Morphe M441. It is a beautiful blending brush. Like, I mean, come on now. And I'm actually going to go into Wow, that's right here. It's that beautiful color. I mean, wow, look, twins. Okay, back to the makeup. But I'm going to go into Wow here, and I'm really going to tap in. Really going to get a lot of that pigment onto the brush. And as you can see, she's pigmented. She looks really good. Tap off some of that excess. And I'm going to go in and kind of just blend this with that orange. Make sure it's nice and seamless. And it actually is going to lighten up that orange too. But you want to make sure that that yellow really comes into play. So I am going to be putting a gold glitter down as my main color here in a second. But right now, we just want to make sure that everything's nice and blended. Everything looks cohesive. we don't want to go out looking unblended and looking like, you know, we don't know what we're doing. We're trying to look good. We're trying to be there. We're trying to be in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Back to the makeup. But you just want to keep taking wow and really just blowing that up. Like, you want to make sure that people know that you came here to look good and you're gonna leave here still looking good. But I'm gonna continue taking this beautiful wow color and just blending out suck and making sure it looks nice and good, nice and cohesive, because you don't want it to look too crazy, but you do want to make a statement. You do want to, you want to leave an impression. Like, I'm a server at heart, server at life. Like, I've always been like that, and I'm good at my job and I like what I do, but I like to have some makeup that leaves a little impression. But I'm actually gonna go back into that M506 with that orange color and really just deepen up that crease some more. I am using the color Suck, and see how it makes it look just like snatched. Like, you just want to make sure that everything just looks so snatched, so good, that it's going to leave that beautiful impression on somebody. I love doing makeup. I think I started doing makeup about 4 or 5 years ago. It's definitely taken me a while to get where I am today with the way I do my makeup, the way that I've lived my life. I have had some trials and tribulations, but that's okay. Everybody does. But right now I'm actually gonna go into Licorice, which is that beautiful red shade. I'm gonna use this to deepen up that outer V, outer corner with that same M506 brush. Tap off some of that excess. It's that beautiful red shade, and we're just gonna take it and we're gonna just right in that outer V. You don't really want to go any higher than that crease, just because you don't want it to be too dark up there. You want it to be that nice, beautiful orange shade, that nice, beautiful orange yellow shade. And if you do get a little high, take that yellow shade that you have on your M441 and kind of just blend it and fluff it out. Make it look like you meant to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to make it look like, if you make a mistake, like, one, don't let anybody know you made a mistake. Be like, oh yeah, I meant to do that and I made it look good. I'm just saying. But I'm gonna take that red shade again and I'm just gonna tap, 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 kind of blend it some, make that orange shade just a little bit darker in that outer V, and make sure that everything looks beautiful and blended. And I am making sure that it's blended in the crease. If it does get up in that crease, I'm just trying to like make it look cohesive. See how this one's a little bit not cohesive? If I do this just a little bit, then it looks better. So it's all about, you know, just making sure that you lay those shades down perfectly. I know sometimes you can get a little out of hand and it's not as perfect as you want, but that's definitely okay. It doesn't have to be completely perfect. There can be mess ups in makeup. It happens. I've had days where I take makeup off. But I'm actually going to go into the Jawbreaker palette. Again, another palette that I love dearly. But I'm going to go into these dark purple shades over here to make sure that outer V is really nice, deep, and dark. So I'm going to go into Coma, which is this beautiful dark purple shade at the bottom. And I'm going to just tap it into it just a little bit, just to make sure I get that lovely color. Boop, boop, boop. Tap off the excess and just kind of tap it into the eye. And so it's going to make it a little bit darker. It's going to make it look a little more sunset-like, because, you know, sunsets, they got purple in them. They got some lovely purples in them, and they look so good. So you want people to, like, look at your eyes and be like, oh my gosh, I'm on a beach somewhere. Like, I'm on a beach drinking a margarita, and it looks good, and it's there, and I'm there with her. Sorry guys, I'm a little out there, but you know, everyone that does makeup's a little bit out there. I'm not gonna lie. But again, I'm just tapping that color on just to make sure that the pigment's gonna be there and that everything looks cohesive. But I'm gonna go back in with this color, with the M441. I'm gonna go back into the Jawbreaker palette and I'm gonna grab that wow color again, which is that beautiful yellow shade, just in case everybody forgot. But I'm gonna make sure that it's nice and blended out on the outer corner, especially just because we added that red shade, we added a little more of the orange shade, and we added some of that purple shade. You wanna make sure that none of the really dark colors are way out there, because you don't want to have raccoon eyes. Nobody likes raccoon eyes. So I'm going to come in a little bit closer just to make sure that everything looks good. I might use the little Jawbreaker. Okay, so I'm actually going to take a darker shade. I know I've been saying that and I've been wanting to do a darker shade, but I really want that outer V to look good and snatched. So I think I'm actually going to go into Intravenous, which is this darker brown shade up here at the top, just to really snatch that outer V to make sure it looks really good. And I might mix that dark Intravenous color with Extraction. I almost said extravenous. That's not a word, but Extraction and Intravenous, which is that beautiful brown shade and a beautiful purple shade. And I'm kind of just mixing the two together to give this beautiful little shade here. And I'm going to tap, tap, tap on that outer shade. Oh, see, that just brought it together. And now if you do get a little crazy with the color, which I kind of just did, just before you tap any of the colors off, same brush, I'm going to go into Suck real fast. Get a little bit of Suck on there and make sure that the colors aren't getting too dark up at the top. Because if they are, all you gotta do is blend some, add some of that lighter shade in there, and usually you're pretty good. Back into the wow color, really just blend it. Blend. Oh, I think that looks so much better. Okay, so we're gonna do that on the other side. Tap, 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 a tap, 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 and oh yeah, baby, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, so see how I got a little bit too far up there? I'm throwing brushes. Take a little bit of wow and just blend. If you're ever in a sticky situation, blend and blend. You can blend in any situation. When you're doing your foundation, when you're doing your eyebrows, when you're doing your eyeshadow, just blend. Okay, sorry. But we're just gonna blend that. It looks gorgeous. I'm pretty content with those shadows. Pretty content with how this looks. But I am going to be taking the NYX glitter in gold, I believe it's just called GL05, which is a nice, pretty gold color. It's gonna look so good. I'm so excited. But I'm gonna set, I'm actually gonna do a cut crease. Ooh, not a full cut crease, just a half cut crease. So I'm gonna get my Tarte concealer. Tried and true, baby. Tried and true. And what I like to do, just put a little dot on the back of my hand. A little more than that. There we go. And I like to take a nice concealer brush. Boom. I'm throwing things again. Oh, I just got concealer on my leg. Oops. But so I'm going to take this lovely concealer brush. It's a nice little one. Nice and flat. And I'm actually going to take some concealer, cut that cut crease out, and live my best life. Try to show you what I'm doing at the same time, but pretty much what I'm gonna do is just tap that concealer on, because you don't want to blend the colors into your concealer. You just want to make sure that you're tapping on that concealer just to get a nice cut crease, a nice little moment on your eye. Sorry if I go quiet, because I'm focusing. But you're just gonna tap until you get the shape that you want. I'm already out of concealer. I did not get enough concealer. Let's see what I'm talking about. So it's gonna look like a nice little cut moment, but you want to have a lot of concealer ready just so you don't mix any of the colors, because if it gets too dry, it's gonna start just grabbing onto the shade, and you really don't want that. You really don't, because you want it to look nice and cut, not blended at this point. I'm like shaking. It's fine. Okay, but we're gonna continue cutting it. Okay, so I'm about to that point where I'm pretty content with where I'm stopping. Okay, so that's a lovely little half cut crease there. To set it, of course, we're gonna put glitter on it, so I'm not really gonna set it with a liquid or with a powder or anything like that. But after we put that glitter on and it looks delicious, we'll go back in with those beautiful dark shades again, and we'll make sure that everything is cohesive like I talked about. So again, I'm just making, there we go, I'm just making sure it's nice, cohesive, looks like a beautiful little half moon, and we're gonna do that exactly on the other side.
You went away. You've been sending flowers to me. Flowers today, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. Flowers to me. Flowers today, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms. Sending flowers to me. Send me no flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. You've been sending flowers to me. Send me no flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. Ever since the day that you went away, you went away, you went away.
Okay, I'm back. So yeah, so I just finished doing my little half cut crease. I'm just trying to make sure that all of these look even, which I think they do. I think this one goes out just a little bit more than the other side, so I'm just gonna kind of, and worst case scenario, again, I haven't had the glitter on yet, so if you do go a little bit farther than you need to, just wait till you put the glitter on, everything will be fine. I'm gonna go back into WOW, make sure that everything is pigmented in this inner corner here. We really want that yellow to pop, we want that orange to kind of pop out too. So I'm just making sure that everything looks good, which honestly right now it's looking pretty cohesive, pretty good. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this NYX glitter glue, or glitter primer. It's not really a glue, but I'm just gonna put some on my hand. I use about that much, just a little bit, just enough to really set that lid. And I'm gonna use the same concealer brush. Make sure it's nice and flat. I'm gonna go in, grab some, and this stuff gets real sticky, so be ready. But we're just gonna dab that all over the lid area that we just cut out and make it nice and coated. For that glitter, we're gonna stick on. Again, you really want to make sure you get a lot of this glue on and just shove it into those crevices, onto that lid. Just doing my other eye real fast. Okay, so now that we have that lovely glitter glue on, I'm just gonna take this lovely little shadow brush. It's an Morphe M124. And I'm kind of just making sure my eyelids are dry. So a good thing that you can always have on hand is a brush. A brush is a fan, kind of just blow on it some. Make sure that glue gets nice and sticky. So I'm just gonna tap, 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 tap some glitter into this, making sure I don't spill it everywhere, because I will. But I'm just gonna take that brush. You don't need to wet the brush or anything because it is glitter. You'll get it on the brush, I promise. So I just have some of that glitter on the brush, and I'm going to just tap it on to my lid. And I think it's starting to really come together. We're just gonna make sure that it gets everywhere it's supposed to be. Make sure it's not, not where it's supposed to be, but you need a lot of glitter for this. So when you do, your eye makeup and your eyes, you'll realize that your eyes are a whole lot bigger than you think they are. Oop, I just got glitter all over my eyes. Okay. But again, you kind of want to just keep inside that concealer line that you made. Oh yeah. That is a look right there. So it's definitely really bright, it's definitely really beautiful. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And we will be doing some liner. The liner will really help with making that glitter and shadow mixed together. So I'm just gonna be doing the same thing. I just dumped glitter all over myself. Okay, so that's just great. So I have my glitter everywhere, but besides everywhere, where it should be, on my eyes. And if you do get a few little glitter particles in places, just take that brush with maybe even just the slightest bit of wow on it and just kind of gently brush it away, because there's really glitter everywhere. But what I like to do, because I definitely have glitter underneath my eyes, this is why we kind of set your eyes beforehand, so you can really wipe that glitter away with that Jeffree Star brush is what I'm using, and just kind of whoop, and it's gone. But now I'm going to take this little 506 brush and I'm going to go back into Coma, which is that dark purple shade in Blood Sugar, and I'm just going to kind of blend the seams together. So this part, you don't have to be as accurate just because we are going to go back in with wow a little bit, but you really just want to make sure that those ends look good. So I'm going to go back into the 441 brush, I'm going to go into wow, and I'm going to blend in the outer corner again. Nice. And this is just definitely an extra look, but we're getting somewhere with it. We're gonna make it look good and just make it look great. But I'm gonna take that 506 brush again, and I'm gonna go into, oh, I just got concealer everywhere. I'm gonna go into Suck, tap, 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 and I'm gonna do my lower lash line with this brush. And this is just to really blend it and buff it out. Okay, so now I'm gonna take wow and just kind of buff it out like we've been doing. And that looks super snatched, looks super beautiful. Boom, shakalaka. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my eyeliner out, which I use this SUVA, so I guess Suva Beauty. It's a hydro liner. So pretty much what that means is it's like a cake liner. It's not wet. I mean, it just a little bit comes off, but that's because I use it a lot. But I'm just gonna take some setting spray like I always do, spray some of that on there, and grab my little Suva brush, which is this cute little liner brush. It's amazing. But I kind of just go in there, mix it up, get that cake liner nice and wet. And when I do that, I'm ready for liner. So I'm gonna go do liner real fast. It's probably just gonna go through. I'll do a video on liner later in life. And there we are. So that's my liner. Now, my other hack that I have, when you know you're not as good as you want to be on liner, which is kind of where I'm at today, you're gonna take a concealer brush. Now, I just want to let everybody know, concealer brushes and concealer are a girl's best friend. No matter how good you are at makeup. I lost my concealer. I found it. We're good. Crisis avoided. Just dab a little on your hand like I've been doing. Take a little mirror so you can kind of get up close. And just kind of clean up that line. Boom. Right there. So one, it'll make your eye makeup just look better as well. It looks a little more cohesive. Looks a little more precise. But it'll make that liner really look good. And that's what we're all about here in the end. So we want our liner to look good. I like to let my lashes really settle in before I put mascara on my real lashes. So while we're letting that kind of sit in, I'm gonna take my Too Faced bronzer in the chocolate matte. It's just the chocolate one. So I'm pretty sure there's a dark chocolate and like a caramel one, or the Hula's the caramel one, but there's like a lighter one. But I take this little Farrah Brushes brush and I kind of just tap in a lot, and then circular motions just kind of bronze up that skin, make me look like a human again. And I do my forehead and I kind of go down my face, kind of make sure everything is blended. But I do like circular motions when putting on bronzer. I think it makes it look a little bit more natural. Sometimes when you go in a little too hard, you can get little spotchy, blotchy, gross spots. So we don't want that. But I also take it down my neck because we want to look the same. And I do kind of bronze up my nose a little bit. I know that's a kind of a weird place to put bronzer, but I do because I don't contour that much. And now we're gonna go into blush, and I am going to be using the let's do the California blush today. I just have like a little sample of it. I love this blush. I think it's great. It has beautiful color, and I'm taking a Morphe 105 brush, tapping off a little bit of that excess, and I'm just kind of stippling it on. And I'm going from cheeks to up. Cheeks, up. Apple of your cheeks, up to your face. Well, this is your face. Up to your hair. But I kind of just stipple it on, make it look nice and pretty, nice and snatched. And I do like to take whatever's left on the brush, kind of just put it up on my forehead region, on my chin, a little bit on my nose. But now it's my favorite part. It's highlighting. I am going to be using the Jeffree Star 24 Karat highlight palette. I love all of these highlighters. I think they're all amazing. But I'm just going to take the JS, I think 3, I believe, 4. And I am going to go into Sarcophagus, which is a beautiful golden shade. And it's super bright, super poppin'. And I'm just going to take that and really just lighten up my cheeks. This isn't the best lighting, but she's poppin', I promise. But I like to just really, and I like to pack it on there. Jeffree would be so proud of me, but like I like to just like pack it on there. I do put a little bit on my chin, on my lips, and then a little bit on my forehead. And I am just gonna take this little tiny brush, if I can find it. I might not be able to find it. Where is it at? Okay, this little tiny brush. This is my inner corner highlighting brush. I'm gonna take Sarcophagus as my inner corner highlight today, and I'm just gonna kind of pop it on in there. And I'm gonna make sure that there's a lot of pigment because she came to play today. She's not here for nothing else. She came to slay and play. Okay. Oh, I just got someone. That's okay. But I am gonna use this to highlight my nose because I like a very accurate highlight on my nose just because I don't want to look crazy. Okay, and we're actually gonna use this also to highlight the brow bone. And yes, you do have lashes on. Oh, my lashes done popped off. Popped off like somebody yelling at somebody. Okay, whatever, that's fine. They are here for, you know, life. They're here for your existence. But today we're just gonna do a neutral lip. So I'm gonna take my NYX lip liner. I have to find it. Okay, there's one that I like to use. It's not this one. It's a dark one. There's another lipstick. There go all of my lipsticks. Okay, here's the lip liner I like to use. Yes, and it is the color Nude MPL 10. It's a good retractable lip liner. And what I do before that is I like to take, where's that? She's missing. She's missing. I like to take, where is she at? She is really missing. Well, I have a Jeffree Star lip scrub that I like to use. Oh, I found her. She's no longer missing. But this is the spearmint one. It's, you know, just a basic flavor. It's really nice, really good. But I use it every day. Kind of helps make your lips look a little bit better. Look a little more lumpy. It's edible. So it tastes really good, honestly. I wouldn't, you know, recommend just eating it. I'm not trying to get famous that way. But you want to make sure that it's off of your lips after you use it. So that's what I like to do. And then I'm going to take that lip liner. Is this it? This is it. Take that lip liner and really just line my lips. Now, I do not have a Jeffree Star lip liner, which I'm so sad about. But I hope to get one soon. That's the top lip. The bottom. I do overline just a little bit because I have little lips. Okay, here we are. And today I am just gonna use the NYX Lingerie lipstick that I have. I don't really have a lighter shade that I want to use. Plus the dark will just look good. And this is in the shade Lace Detail. It's a very pretty liquid lipstick. And I'm just gonna put that all on my lips. Kind of just make sure everything is blended to perfection. And there we are. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit because I am gonna put on a lip gloss because I like to wear lip glosses. I think they're cute. So I'm just gonna use this one from DLS. It's a really pretty lip gloss. It's got like gold shimmers in it. It doesn't feel like sticky, doesn't feel clumpy. So I'm just gonna put that on it. It has a nice shine to it. And it'll really blend everything together. Oh yeah. You know, honestly kind of lighten up the lip just a little bit. And last but not least, I am going to set my face. So today I'm actually going to be using the Too Faced Do You setting spray. I love the setting spray. It leaves a really nice dewy look on. With this look, I think it would look really good just with a nice like sunshiny bright look. So shake that up and let me get my fan ready because, you know, Oh, before I do that, I'm forgetting something. You gotta set your brows, girl. Don't forget to set your brows. You want your brows to look nice. So I'm just gonna take my Anastasia brow gel in soft brown. And I'm gonna set my brows. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost forgot that. Oh, the look is together now. She's there. Now we're gonna set the brows. Okay, set the brows, set the face.
Ever since the day that you went away, you've been spending flowers.
Really light spray, so it feels really nice. But it definitely does the job. And you just take your fan and fan yourself. And you're done. So thank you guys for watching. If you did watch, I really appreciate you guys. Like and comment on this video. Let me know what looks you want to see next. I'll be doing that Jeffree Star Artistry palette coming up next. But thank you guys so much for watching and being here and getting glam with me today. I have literally nothing to do now, so probably just go, you know, do some dishes or something looking like this, because, you know, no one wants to take me on a date or nothing, but that's okay. But remember, ladies, always tell a man look, but don't touch. You don't want them pulling off a lash or nothing, okay? All right. You guys live your best life, but I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.